Hello and welcome back. This was in 1978. It was my second year with a turntable, and my first year with some allowance money. Uh, Needless to say that I spent most of my allowance money on records, much to my parents' dismay. Also, it was a time when there was, of course, no computers, no internet, and you have to gather information from the senior students at school that looked down upon you or reading magazines. So it all ended up with you buying almost anything that came out or just follow your intuition and from then on look back and buy other albums. It's very easy today to buy albums in a chronological way, right? Start from the debut album until a band call it quits. But those days we didn't have that information, so we just bought the album, tipped into it by the shop owner or by your elder brother, and made the most of it. But the thing was that that opened the door to many other things. It was a quest for information and an endless search for the best albums there was. Also, we tended to buy albums that were cheap or they had a discount because that's what we could afford at the time. So today let's have a look at 10 of them that are very representative of those years, but that I still love and that I play, and not only out of nostalgia, but also because they make me feel good and they make me remember memories of happy days and they cheer me up when I'm down or slightly depressed. So let's get into it. This is the first one. Yes, Tormato or tomato, if you pronounce it the British or the American way. Uh, I bought it when it came out. I didn't even know that Yes was a band, but I played it and I liked it a lot. Though I know that it today is frowned upon, but you have to remember that those days I hadn't listened to Close to the Edge or the Yes album or Fragile, right? So to me, this was something new. I liked Don't Kill the Whale, but then it became a radio hit and I got burned down with it. And I must say that my favorite track here is Release, Release, which is a live rock and roll. And it was great to see that Yes could play rock and roll music. I struggled with side two, and only months later I bought the bit ones. But still, I have a soft spot for this album. I play it quite often, and what the hell? That's what music is for, isn't it? If you have a good time, that's what it's all about. This copy is a German Ausdorff. I must say that those days. Uh, Germany not only covered their own market, but there was a lot of European albums that used the German stampers if they didn't have their own. And yes, it was one of those cases. Well, I'll show you the label that belongs to this album in case you want to buy a copy. This is perfectly affordable, and you can find German copies around for, I suppose, very little money. 79, I picked Led Zeppelin, In Through the Outdoor. Uh, you must also remember that at this point I hadn't played Houses of the Holy or Led Zeppelin 4 or 1 for that matter. I've never been really a Led Zeppelin fan. If you follow my channel, you know. But I do love these albums. Right? I love the heartfelt "All My Love." I remember playing that song to death, and my favorite on the album, which is "I'm Gonna Crawl." And from this one, I move on to 4, 1, and the rest of the albums. I didn't even know at the time that there were different covers. Right? That information came later, but I was happy with this one. Again, this is German pressing that covered Europe at the time. And you can see the label, the Swan Song label, in case you want to buy a copy of these. I know the Led Zeppelin fans know much better. There are better copies around, and it's a world in its own. But if you just have a fleeting interest, a passing interest, like me, this one will suffice. Now, Cat Stevens, Catch Full at Full. I remember I bought this one because it was on sale. Then I was told the Teeth of the Tillerman was much better than Teaser and the Fire Can, etc., etc. But at the time, I didn't know that. There was a kit here, Can't Keep It In, that was played on the radio. And it was very inexpensive, so I bought a copy, the Escapefork copy. And I was lucky because it was an American first pressing. It's in near mint condition. And I like some of the tracks on this album, like Ruins, 18th Avenue, Sitting. It's really hit and miss because I don't like the Latin song here, and I struggle with some other tracks. But this one does get some spins on my turntable. As I said, this is the US first pressing. Here is the label. They are sterlings, both the US and the UK, so you can't go wrong with any of them. Uh, Bob Dylan, Street Legal. I bought this one before I heard Highway 61 Revisited, go and figure. Or, I mean, or some other Dylan's classics, right? I had a friend whose sister had a copy, right, at the time, and she used to play it in the lounge. And we were all overhearing the music, so I decided to give it a go. Uh, I love Changing of the Guards, Baby Stop Crying. Is Your Love in Vain? I know that one is a bit, some people consider it cheesy or, not Dylan-like, but I love the song and I love the meaning of what's in that song. This is a UK present. Baby Stop Crying is the hit. That's why it's got the hype here. It's on CBS, so most copies you find are going to sound good for today. There are different mixes of these albums, but I prefer the original mix. As I said, this is the UK. Here is the label. It sounds really good, but I've heard Spanish and American pressings and German pressings that also sound very good. You can use it as an introduction to Bob Dylan in the 70s and then move on from there to his classics. Supertramp, the debut album. This one was really overlooked at the time, right? Because 1978 and 1979, we had Crisis What Crisis, even in the quietest moment, Breakfast in America. So most people couldn't care less about this album. But let me tell you this, I had a girlfriend at the time who loved the album. So I bought a copy as well. And we had a good time listening to it. It's not classic Supertramp, but I don't know why it doesn't deserve or it doesn't get more credit because it's a great effort and it's a harbinger for things to come. I love Try Again, the guitar solo here. I think it's fantastic, right? The opening and closing track, Surely, right? Maybe I'm a beggar, Home Today. It's not your everyday Supertramp, but give it a chance. Uh, this is an American copy, all right? There are European copies that sound great. It's not difficult to find a very good sounding album. But please avoid the Spanish copies, right? The Spanish copies don't have the piano coda at the end. The next one was my introduction to Allman Brothers in Line in Rose from 1979. Go figure. Later on, I heard Brothers and Sisters, and eventually I learned who Joanne Allman was and started listening to the albums chronologically. But I didn't know that at the time. I bought this one. It sounds very good. Very, very good. This is a great sounding album. And I can't find a weak track here. I love playing these albums because I really enjoy myself. I love the guitars here, Greg Allman, Dickie Betts, and most people consider it second tier. But to me, it's up there with the rest. Right? I like Allman Brothers a lot. This is an American pressing, a first pressing. That sounds exceptional, so I never felt the need to upgrade. And here is the label in case you want to buy a copy. It shouldn't be too difficult to find one for a decent price, right? An affordable copy. Now, the next one was my introductions to the Doors. And this was the first album I listened to. Unbelievable. Waiting for the Sun. It was on the record shop. It was on sale. I heard about Jim Morrison and his tragic death, and it was an album that you needed to know, right? And a band that was a legend, right? But you learned that later on in life. Then, of course, my favorite is Strange Days, and I like Morrison Hotel much better than this one. But give credit to this album. I like Hello, I Love You, Love Street. Summer's almost gone. Yeah, I think it's a great effort. It's a great effort by the Doors. And from here, of course, you can buy the rest of the albums chronologically. I've got a soft spot for it because it was my first one. This is an Alsdorf copy from Germany. And to me, Alsdorf have recorded great albums. They do great masterings. This one has a great sound stage. Uh, Jim Morrison's voice sounds phenomenal. The bass is great. It sounds really warm and valid for money. This is very cheap. Of course, there are better sounding copies. You got the originals, you got the rhinos. But as I said, for very little money, you can get the six of them. Here is the label. There are different labels for the Ausdorf. They start with the red one, then they move to the white one, and it continued to the early 90s. So you can still find full analog vinyl from the Doors as late as 1991. Now, not many people care about Metamorphosis, this compilation by the Rolling Stones. This is another one that I bought because it was cheap. It was on the sale bin. And of course, I knew the Rolling Stones, right? But as I couldn't afford the big ones, well, I just picked this album up without much hope. But there are things here that I absolutely love, right? Like, I don't know why the Stevie Wonder's song, the cover version here, is worth the price of admission. I like the version of Out of Time, Heart of Stone, Try a Little Handler, I'm Going Down, and this Decca compilation won't set you back a lot of money, and for complete fees is okay. Okay, absolutely. After this one, I turned back to the main ones, but I still play these Metamorphoses every now and then. That's me. Now, summer 1978, Because the Night, the song co-written by Patti Smith and Bruce Springsteen, was a major hit in my country. It was on the radio all day long. It was a tremendous radio hit. So I bought the album, right, from the Patti Smith group, Easter, right, and I was shocked by these female rock artists. I was used to listening uh, to rock from the point of view of a male, right? And I wasn't used to seeing these powerful female artists with that raw voice and their power. After this one, of course, I bought horses. I learned about Radio Ethiopia, and finally the great discovery, Janis Joplin, and my respect to all those female rock artists. Right? There are other tracks I like, Till Victory and Easter, High on Rebellion. This is a great album. Uh, my copy is a German pressing, and here's the label if you want to buy one. And I don't think they're very expensive. And the last one, the Kinks, Misfits. This late 70s album. By this time, I never heard Arthur or Muswell Hill Baileys or I don't know, Greenwich Village. I didn't know much about the Kinks. I loved this album. I played a lot. It was mastered by Bob Ludwig and it sounds phenomenal. I love some of the tracks in here, and this also opened the door to some other Kinks album till they became one of my favorite bands. Right? This was released on Arista. Here is the label. And you can get a US pressing for not much money that sounds really phenomenal. It's a pity that some other Kinks albums from previous years don't sound this good. Right, and this is my story from those days. What's your story? What albums did you buy when you were 13, 14? Let me know in the comments, and also let me know if these ones mean something to you. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and becoming part of our family. Thanks for watching. Take care.